It's hard to believe it's been going 20 years, to be quite honest. It's just been so busy. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, to be quite honest. It doesn't feel like 20 years. I know it is 20 years. There's never been a dull moment for me personally. But initially it started as a very, very small project, specifically working with female street sex workers back in 2003. And really it's just evolved since there, you know, from talking to the women. They educated us a lot in terms of what was needed. And it's just through listening to them that women's work has become the entity that it is today, really.
If it weren't for women's work to help me find out who I was, I don't think I would ever be this person that I am today. It's made me stronger. I've seen the signs, I've seen what's right and what's wrong and the effects that it can have on yourself and your children.
It's unique. There's nowhere else like it.
And I just want to be happy, you know, be happy Sarah.
And it's been an incredible journey here. They're compassionate, non-judgmental, and it's really been a lifeline for me.
Women's Work is a charity that helps women and their families, providing essential skills to instill the confidence to truly flourish in life. We offer a huge host of services including counselling, mental health groups, a child contact centre, outreach, prison in reach and more. But our beginnings were humble. Starting in 2003 as a street outreach project with just one staff member and one volunteer, here at 8A Charnwood Street, our first home. We grew our staff and volunteer numbers as we helped more and more women. By 2007 we had a huge achievement supporting a trafficked woman to return to her home country. Our CEO travelled to Amsterdam with ITV News to report on the issue for the politics show. By 2012 we were crowned Champion of Champions by the King's Fund. This year we supported 1,270 individuals alone. By 2018 we had set up the Peer Mentor Scheme, supporting women with lived experience. We now have 44 volunteers. A year later, Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal, visits us after we win East Midlands Charity of the Year. In 2020, we secured our new home, the convent, a new space with room to house all of our services and to grow. But then 3 days later, the pandemic hit, yet we still supported 750 people during lockdown. By 2023, we're providing counselling, mental health groups and developing partnerships with numerous agencies and other charities, expanding our ability to help women.
I work with Women's Work every single hour of my role. The work that they do is like paramount to everything that we do, working with females which are particularly vulnerable and are much harder to reach. And the work here, I can't actually find, I was trying to think of the word to describe it, and it is just beyond anything else and amazing. And the success stories, there's far too many to mention in this clip.
Women's Work have been a really vital part of our service for the last 20 years. Their staff are so motivated. They have been excellent in terms of engaging the female clients that we have on our caseload.
It's been really important for us to partner with Women's Work because they are a local provider as opposed to a national provider who really understand and are able to implement the specialist support that the women of Derby need, and Women's Work are a vital part of trying to prevent homelessness and reintegrate people within society.
Women and girls organisations are generally underfunded, so it's very important that we have Women's Work here doing the work that they do.
Women's Work is very important. Women leaving prison often struggle in those early days to get a foothold and to get themselves re-established. And Women's Work provide a real wraparound service that looks after them, cares for them and helps them as they're released.
And I worked with Women's Work because they provide contact services commissioned by CAFCAS and for private individuals to use, and they provide services to help women understand domestic abuse, improve their esteem and resilience. those things are all very important.
All of our partners' assistance is only ever to help our mission, to help women and their families.
I was a completely broken person, completely broken. I just lost my kids. My marriage, at the time I thought was the end of the world, was ending, you know what I mean, all that. And women's work stuck it out with me. I've got to say, you were brilliant. You stuck it out with me. Because it took 4 months after that for me to completely reach rock bottom. And I remember Dion actually ringing me when I was actually on the verge of suicide and asked me to come in. And that phone call actually saved my life.
If it weren't for women's work to help me find out who I was, I don't think I would ever be this person that I am today. I used to think, oh, my life's not going to change, it's always going to be the same, you know. Why would my life change? All I've had is abuse and violence and whatever else. But since I've been working with women's work and I'm working on myself, hopefully in a few years' time I'll have my family back. I feel like I'm free now, you know, like no control, no violence, nobody can hurt me no more because I'm in control of myself now, which I haven't ever been.
Pure female, comfortable area where you're safe and you're very warmly welcomed. It's just a great place to be, it really is.
Nobody wants to be a bad parent, nobody wants to be homeless, nobody wants to fall foul of drugs or alcohol abuse. But there are ways through it, and with the support of women's work, so many people have been helped to turn their lives around, to see hope, to see a future, to see a creativity and passion in other people, which inspires them to turn their lives around and make the most of life for themselves and, of course, more importantly, their children.
And we couldn't do any of this without our dedicated staff and our volunteers.
Something to be proud of, to say that yes, we are women's work and we've been going for 20 years.
To be part of a charity that helps women sort of empower themselves to make more of their lives, that's something I feel passionate about.
For me, what it's like to work here at Women's Work is a privilege. I find it a privilege to support, to help, to move forward women who believed that they could never move forward, and they have. You know, 20 years has gone, it seems like 20 weeks. You know, every day I come into the door and it's different. Every single day is different, and that is what I love. And every single day I know that somebody is going to leave this building feeling more confident.
I love it. I started here as a volunteer and then came here as staff, and I love it.
So working here, it's a very empowering place to work and very inclusive. We're very tight as a team and we're always there to support each other. It's a very inclusive place to work. It's also very, very enjoyable as well.
There's just so much variety. I love people, I love working with people, and for me it's quite fulfilling. I've gained a lot from being here.
I'm proud to be a part of an organisation that's existed that length of time, and if anything, this is just going to continue to expand because obviously there's a need for it. This is why we're becoming so busy.
So after 20 years, a lot has happened, but what's next?
In terms of what the future holds for women's work, who knows? And I think that is a part of why we're still here. Although we have a strategy, we have aims and goals, but we have to keep an open mind. You know, we have to continue to keep a close eye on societal trends, and if we can respond to them the way we've responded to past and present trends, then yes, surely we'll be here for another 20 years, because ultimately, for us, I think what makes a difference is the approach we take to working with people, and just ensuring that we are continue to do that. So yes, it's not just me, there's so many people that have contributed to getting us to where we are today. And not to forget, you know, the volunteers, peer mentors are wonderful, and the service users themselves, because as I said, ultimately they're the ones that inspire me and direct my vision. So biggest thank you must go to them.